Good morning. I've got here today Julie Mercer. She is a awesome member of Pajamas for Seniors. Tell us your title at Pajamas for Seniors, Julie.
Good morning, Joe. I am Project Director of Projects for Pajamas for Seniors.
And we're so excited to have you here. Today we are talking about Pajamas for Seniors, our nonprofit. I am the executive director. We have a great team in place. Our goal for the Pajamas, we've got some exciting things coming up. We want to collect 10,000 pair of pajamas this year. We've got a big goal. There are so many needs. There are 16,000 nursing home residents in Dallas County alone. So we're talking today about Pajamas for Seniors, and Julie, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here and involved with Pajamas for Seniors.
Thank you, Joe. Wow. That is a lot of pajamas. One that I know the goal is attainable, but I'd like to just jump on in, if you don't mind, and ask you the why behind how did Pajamas for Seniors begin?
The Pajamas for Seniors began when I was a little girl, actually. I had a grandmother. I grew up in New Orleans, and my grandmother every Saturday would take my brother and sister and I to a place called the Home for the Incurables. It was a nursing home. It was people that were wards of the state that had no family, no money, nothing, no visitors, no teddy bears by their bed, or no pictures of family. They were literally nobodies. We'd go visit this nursing home, and I remember walking up these wide steps, and the walls were gray. There was no color. It was just lifeless. And the only sound you would hear were cries of people upstairs. I'd walk up the stairs with my grandmother, and there would be patients in rows like you'd see in movies from World War II movies, or people in hospital, twin beds lined up against the wall, a dozen across one side of the room, a dozen across the other, all in white, all in with white beds, the nurses in white. And these people were so lonesome. So my grandmother would have us go up, my brother and sister and I talk to them and sing to them. And I remember one particular woman, her name was Miss Turnipseed. She had had polio as a child and was bedbound from childhood. And she was probably in her 40s at that time. I would go to the Home for the Incurables as a child in the 60s. And when I'd go up to her bed and grab her hand, she would hold on so tight, she wouldn't let go. And it would scare me, but at the same time, it tugged at my heart. I just saw there are so many people with needs that are nobodies. And so I was 7, 8, 9 years old when I'd go to the Home for the Incurables. And then I became a nurse and became a hospice nurse. And of my patients, I had a lot of nursing home patients that were hospice patients. So I would go visit nursing homes, and I noticed that 8 out of 10 of my patients, all they had were hospital gowns. They were recycled, soiled, but recycled, bleach stained, just worn, weathered and worn. And so as a hospice nurse, I would bring my patients when I knew it was cold. I'd go to the store and go to Target or and just get them pajamas. And then I started getting them pajamas every year. So every year as a hospice nurse, and I did hospice for about 10 years, 12 years, I would bring my patients pajamas at Christmas. And then when I started Acappella, my agency 13 years ago, What started as just picking a handful of patients, we'd provide Thanksgiving dinner, or we'd provide Christmas morning cookies, or brownies. We'd bring brownies or something at 4th of July. I just made it an effort to start providing pajamas for our patients. And our patients are private pay. They're wealthier, the wealthier clientele. But even those, I noticed, when people are spending $5,000-$10,000 a month on private care, there's little extra money for things like pajamas or shampoo or slippers. Even my own grandmother, she had a gown that she wore all the time. It was green and had a huge hole in the back. She had it from when I was a little girl. And even in her 90s, she wore this gown with this hole in the back. And that is pajamas. The older you get, when you're more concerned about your income, the less you're going to spend on things that seem frivolous. As a nightgown, you'd rather spend money on that toothbrush or incontinence supplies, or a caregiver so that your family can have a break, or whatever the expense is. So anyway, 5 years ago, I started involving the community of Dallas, involved different home care agencies and hospices and hospitals. And last year, I guess go back to 2017, we collected about 800 pair of pajamas. And I knew that was the beginning. It gave me the encouragement that, you know what, we got to keep going on this. So last year, Pajamas for Seniors became a nonprofit, and our mission is really more than being about the pajamas. It's about making a difference and really raising awareness to the needs of what is going on in neighborhood nursing homes. Especially to these low-income, no-income residents of these nursing homes.
Wow. Just the fingerprints of you as a little girl and where it brought you and how that did and how it's multiplied. And you answered the question of why did you decide to become a nonprofit? Was that to reach more?
To reach more, and really I saw that there are very few nonprofits for seniors that have tangible things. There is, VNA does the Meals on Wheels program. It's amazing. I love that program. But other than VNA, Alzheimer's Association, there's lots of research being done for dementia, which is so critical and so vital. But as far as tangible things for these little residents of the community, there's really not anything. And I want to raise awareness that our seniors are just as important as our children in our community. They're just as important as the schools. They're just as important, our nursing home care or senior living communities. That is just a vital part of a community as the school is, as the church is. So I just want to bring awareness to the needs of what's going on and how as a community we can step in and help. We've got to step in. There are epidemic problems going on in area nursing homes.
Amen. Saying that about a neighborhood, and when it's flourishing, you see every level, like the seniors, if their senior centers are well and being taken care of, the younger we are, we learn from our elders. And so you're talking about young children, we do spend a lot of time and effort, which is so needed. But when they see our elders being taken care of, that is how they learn too, by example. And so what can the public do? How can we help?
Just volunteer. One thing with nursing homes, especially the Medicaid, a lot of them have activities directors. They're paid minimum wage. They might work part-time. They probably have a zero budget. So they've got to come up with, on this part-time minimum wage income, to come up with activities for these seniors. So get involved. Schools get involved. Churches get involved. What can I do? How can I help? Music is so therapeutic to the soul. It's so therapeutic to our seniors. Just having a choir come in, having an orchestra from a school come in, having a group of men that love to sing barbershop quartets, just having people come in and make a difference, going in and do an activity, a local floral shop, teaching a group of women how to make a flower arrangement. I would love to learn how to do that. There was one nursing home where a gentleman he's a clergy. He is from the South, and he went and taught this group of elderly how to make fried green tomatoes. It was so adorable. They had the best time. They talked about recipes. And so we all need to make a difference. We all need to take a stand. We were talking about when somebody's looking, Dallas is flourishing, but we have 16,000 nursing home residents just in Dallas County. We don't talk about that. We talk about our schools. We talk about the roads. We talk about the best restaurants or the best places to go. Look at the parks. Our toll structure, our road structure, it is the top of. It's top in its class. But in these neighborhoods are these nursing homes where 70% do not have one visitor. These residents have no visitors. Dallas County does not have a senior center, where Richardson does, McKinney does, DeSoto does. Our own city of Dallas does not have a senior center. So they're just things raising awareness that we all need to get on board. We're all going to become elderly one day, so we all need to get on board.
And that leads into, okay, so you've hit on how you became a nonprofit, but the needs of our low-income seniors, other than Pajamas, is becoming aware.
Yes, it's becoming aware. And I want to give an example. My mother was in a nursing home in Louisiana, and she was in a rehab. She was being paid, the rehab was being paid by Medicare, probably $600 or $700 a day. Well, she had been in this rehab. I'd been in the hospital with her for about a week and a half. I'd missed a lot of work. This was several years ago. And so I wound up, when we got her to this rehab, my sister and I checked it out. We're like, wow, she is going to get great care. I got home, was busy with work, with my family. And 2 weeks into the rehab, I just thought, I need to drive and go check on her. So I drove all night. I just had a feeling I needed to go check on her. So she had been at this rehab for 2 weeks. Medicare had been paying $600-700 a day. When I got there, my mother was covered in urine and stool. She had not had her teeth brushed. She had no toothbrush, no basin, no soap, no toothpaste, no towels. Her bra that she was wearing under her hospital gown was torn. She had body odor. And my mother happened to be the volunteer piano player every Sunday for 5 years prior to this episode in the hospital. So this is a woman who gave to this facility. And what did she get in return? Nothing. She got neglect. Nobody cared. And I remember getting her up. I went to the nurse's station. I said, I need a basin. I need a toothbrush. And they kind of blew me off and were like, you know what, just go back to Texas, basically. So when I threatened, I'm going to make a call to the state. This is her Medicare dollars. She worked all of her life. She paid taxes. She paid into Social Security. She paid for that Medicare benefit, and look at what's going on. And this is someone that truly loved that community and gave back to the community. So this is something I know about. So the tangible needs, do they have basic supplies? Do they have toothbrushes? Do they have toothpaste? Do they have towels? Do they have slippers? We had one patient that was very involved with our pajama drive, and her feet were so swollen, all she could wear were flip-flops. And she wore, even the coldest days of the year, she had on those flip-flops. That's all she had. And how couldn't we get her someone provide those no-slip socks? There's just so much. What about their hair? Do they need a hairbrush? Do they need rubber bands for their hair? Do they need a haircut? How are they paying for a haircut? They don't have the money for a haircut. So what are we doing as a community? imperative that we give back. And the pajamas is just one little token. I know New Year's Eve last year, we were supposed to get a snowstorm. It was possible snow. We didn't get it snow, of course, Dallas,
Yes.
we get all panicked about this. But we wound up giving about 250 pair of pajamas New Year's Eve to this nursing home in McKinney, and all these wonderful little people could celebrate the new year with a pair of new pajamas. And how wonderful to make them feel special on a holiday. Everybody loves to get something new and warm. And, I remember one nursing home we went to, and somebody had donated probably 8 dozen pair of socks. You would have thought they were getting PlayStations. They were so thrilled about these socks. Ma'am, can I have a second pair of socks? They were so excited, tears in their eyes about socks. And these are people in our own backyard.
Okay. Well, raising awareness and what can the public do, but hearing how just something simple can make a difference in a senior's life. You were involved with your mother. You loved her. You took care of her. You made sure you were going to see her. There are so many that don't have family members that ever come to see them. Mm-hmm. So it is
70% of nursing home residents have no visitors. 50% have no family at all. And you go into these nursing homes, and they may have a roommate. They don't know who they are. They've never met her. The roommate may scream all the time. They may just refuse baths. It may be somebody off the street that's homeless. You just don't know. I want to read over some shocking statistics on nursing homes. I found this yesterday when I was doing a little research, and this was so disturbing to me, and that's why it's so important the community get involved. More than 30% of all nursing homes experience some form of resident abuse. That's malnutrition, physical abuse, exploitation, neglect, and sexual abuse. And sexual abuse is becoming more prevalent in these nursing homes. We had that patient in Arizona who became pregnant, and she was disabled since birth, and it was just horrific. Almost every nursing home has at least one deficiency. So that is, the state goes in and does surveys, and it's imperative that if your loved one's in a nursing home, find out what Medicare rates this nursing home. Find out what deficiencies are going on. Are they a 5-star? Everybody should be a 5-star. Some are a 1-star. Why are they a 1-star? Ask those questions. Let me ask you this. My mother's coming here for rehab, but I see that it's really close to my house, but you've only got 1 star. So what are you doing about it? Find out what they have to say. If it's 1 star, there's a reason it's 1 star. 5,000 deaths in 1999 may have been due to neglect. This was crazy. Only 20% of abuse cases in nursing homes are ever reported. 92% of all nursing homes employ at least one convicted criminal. It is so important to do those background checks, and some do the very minimum. You might hire somebody from out of state, and you're not getting accurate information. There are not enough nursing home beds to serve the entire elderly population. Many nurses' aides care for up to 30 people. So there may be one aide for an entire wing. And, we talked about this too. Our pastor's daughter just had triplets, and she has got the community, the church community, family supporting her. She's taking care of 3 little, 20-pound babies. Think about these elderly. Some are sizes 3, 4, 5X, and you've got one person taking care of an entire hall. One person, how hard that is on your back, even just to turn them to do incontinent care or help them get from the bed to the wheelchair. So it's just imperative. We've got to have help. We've got to have better regulations, and but the community's just got to get involved. Just that simple.
Well, by raising awareness and what you're doing right now, but also you touched on something about the care staff at these nursing homes. To me, they're the unsung daily heroes. Their job is a very thankless job, but a priceless. And they become, in essence, the family to most of these seniors that don't have anybody.
And that's why it's so important that these communities take care of their employees. They're not doing, those administrators or the owners, I'm not saying the administrators, a lot of those owners aren't rolling up their sleeves and helping. They're expecting a staff to do it, a minimal staff with minimum wage. One nursing home I went to several years ago at night, when I was doing hospice, I went to pronounce a patient who had passed, and the RN met me at the front door. This was locked, of course, for security, and she met me at the front door and said, "Joe, is there any way you can stay and help me? I have 79 other residents I'm taking care of, and I am by myself." That is sorry. That's sad. And you think about taking care of, my grandmother lived with me for a year, and she was total care, and it was hard. It was hard work, and I was exhausted. And so imagine having 79 other people. Imagine having 20 other people. So there've got to be better, stronger regulations out there, because we're all going to be there. We're all going to be seniors, and the population is growing. 10,000 people turn 65 every year. I want to end with how can volunteers get involved with the Pajamas for Seniors? Tell us about the very next event coming up. I'm super excited. Let's talk about that. And how can the public give? We need help.
Okay, our next event is on June 13th. We are partnering with the Friends Place in Richardson. We're doing a Dad's Day Donut Dash in the morning. The whole community of Richardson, we're getting involved. Dropping off pajamas. Our goal is 500 to 1,000. And we want to give to all the nursing homes, the Medicaid nursing homes in Richardson for men on Father's Day. On June 14th, we will be delivering these pajamas. So everybody can come out and help. We're doing a couple events before them. We're going to do some at area restaurants. We're going to put on our Facebook page and our website. And if you can come and bring pajamas, sizes medium through 6X, drop them off that morning, and you can have donuts and bagels and coffee and orange juice, and we will be there to greet you.
And I understand the Girl Scouts are going to be involved.
Yes.
And we're going to have a drive-through. So if you don't even have to get out of your car, drop off pajamas, get a cup of coffee to go, a donut to go. Friends Place is located on Nantucket right off Campbell. So even if you're driving downtown, get off 75 going south at Campbell, take a right, take a left on Nantucket, get right back, loop back onto 75, and you're on your way. But we do need those pajamas, every size. If you don't feel like shopping, you can drop off money. You can drop off a Walmart gift card, and we'll do the shopping. The very large sizes, 3X, 4X, 5X, are harder to find, but they're a big demand. So we can do that shopping for you. You can donate to pajamasforseniors.org. There is a place you can, there's a donate button. We can always send you a receipt. We are a 501c3. But please help us. We need those pajamas. We want to make these Dad's Day just the best possible. And think about fathers who possibly they've lost their children, their adult children. Some of these are in their 90s. All of them by now have lost their own fathers. And I know for me on Mother's Day, it was the first year without my mother, and my mother had dementia for a long time. But to have her not physically here, it was a mixed emotion day for me. And so these people, they know it's Father's Day. They feel like, okay, here I am. It's another Father's Day. I'm by myself. But imagine, wow, I have these special people that made my day. Oh, I'm having a good Father's Day. I'm in something new to wear. I feel good. But it just is such a little bit that makes such a huge difference.
Making a difference, one pair of pajamas at a time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Julie. And we're so excited. Can't wait to have you back again. And we're going to talk about the just how we're progressing. We've got Christmas in July coming up. We've got several companies and businesses involved in that. And then we've got our drive for Christmas. Our goal, again, is to raise, to collect 10,000 pair of pajamas. So thank you so much, and have a great day, and have a great weekend.
You as well.
Dominus Deus,